Hey, listeners, we are coming to Mesa, Arizona at the Bridge Improv Theater on June 15th. That's right, Father's Day. Come see comedy, magic, and improv with myself and George. Tickets will be available soon. We will let you know when. And when it is time, you will go to bridgeimprovtheater.com to purchase those tickets. Come celebrate, or escape, Father's Day with us. Two guys who, fortunately, have never reproduced. Also, thank you for supporting the show. Please leave us a review on your favorite podcast app. Now, on to the show.
Hello and welcome to another episode of the A Bit Delayed Podcast. I am one of your hosts, George G., joined, of course, always by one of my best friends, comedian, and we'll get into what we're going to talk about right now. 1 year older and fellow wrestling fan, Mr. Patrick Bean. How you doing today, buddy?
I'm good, buddy. How are you? Also, a year older?
Patrick and I are both another year older. One of us is still in our 40s and one of us is still in our 30s, so you lucky bastard.
Well, way to tell them which one was which.
I like to bury the lead because we are warning you in advance. This episode will have some wrestling talk in it. So if you are not a wrestling fan, we'll see it next week. Now, if you are a wrestling fan, or even if not, we're going to talk about something specific because Patrick had a really cool WrestleMania weekend. We just had WrestleMania, one of the biggest wrestling weekends of the year, probably the wrestling weekend of the year, wrestling week of the year. And you had something really cool happen. So we are going to talk a little bit about that. So you're going to hear some crazy fun stories about Mr. Bean. But yeah, man. So how was your last, before we get into like the main event, how was your last week and a half of wrestling and watching everything and your own shows, all that?
Oh my God. The week was insane. I mean, between the Dungeons and Dragons stand-up themed show.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, between that was insane.
Tell our fans what is the Dungeons and Dragon comedy show?
Themed comedy show. Yes.
At least this one, because I have seen other people doing Dungeons and Dragons and it may not be the same, but this one that you went to.
Yes, this one I was a part of. So local comedians Derek Tesson and Jennifer Girallo put on a show at this venue called the Silver Key Lounge, which is like a tabletop gaming bar. Very cool spot. Shout out to all of them.
It sounds like an old It sounds like an old Vegas lounge when you say it that way, but it's a gaming lounge. Got it.
It does. Well, the coolest thing is you walk in, you think like, oh, this is a little storefront game, just like a tabletop gaming store. Like you walk in and there's all different like, Dungeons and Dragons-esque games all on the shelves and pieces, miniatures, etc. And then you walk a little bit past it and it expands into this giant room with all these different tables that you can play games at, or some are just high tops if you want to just hang out and have a drink. And apparently they do all kinds of events here. By the way, they're not sponsored. I'm just singing their praises because they're really cool. So maybe one day they'll sponsor, but not today. So this was like the first time, to my understanding, that they put on some kind of like live show like this. They do other like gaming nights and events, but this is the first time they're like, hey, we're going to do a comedy show here.
Yeah.
And so the idea is you would do, so there's, we had 6 comedians booked, plus Derek was hosting. And everyone's doing just a 10-minute set, but before your set, you roll for certain traits. Like in Dungeons and Dragons, it's so the name of the show, for example, is Roll for Charisma. So that was one of the traits you can roll for. And then like wisdom, strength, dexterity, things like that, common traits in Dungeons and Dragons, you as the comedian have to roll for. So I don't want to give everything away because it's not my show concept, but I will tell you one, we packed the place out. People had to be turned away at the door. So that was great.
Always feels nice.
Yeah, always feels nice because that was the thing, was since it was the first time, they're like, we're not really going to like ticket it. And so it was just, we were reaching capacity for safety standards. So they kept a head count and they were like, okay, we're going to stop letting people in the door now so we don't break fire code.
This was a free event if you were attending, or you just had
This
ticketed?
was a free event. There was no
Oh,
tickets. This was
okay.
free.
Okay.
So
Wow.
place got
Five
packed. So it was
$5 a head next time. Let's do that.
who knows? That is for the owner to decide. But I mean, I'm sure he did quite well because the bar was constantly moving and selling food. The food was good too. Like I, I ate a wrap and I didn't have to eat the rest of the weekend, which was insane. Anyway, so the show, the way it works is each comedian before their set would roll for three things. And again, I don't want to give everything away, but the
Sure.
one of the I opted. This is real Dungeons and Dragons nerdy stuff. I opted to take rolling a one on strength, meaning I get the worst punishment. So I can roll for advantage on something else, meaning I can roll twice for one of the other traits, and I take whichever is the higher number. Does that make sense?
Not 100%, but I'm following enough. So you're rolling, and you're going to from what I know is you're going to have stuff that could or could not happen that would make your performances harder, right?
Yes. So one of the traits, again, I don't want to give everything away, but
Yeah.
one of the three things I rolled, and it was no punishment. Everything acts as normal, like a normal comedy show. The thing I rolled for advantage on, I believe, I rolled, and I it was possible that I would be fact checked during my set. So if I said something factually incorrect, the host could interrupt my set, and he was polite and would wait for after a punchline,
Yeah.
but he would chime in and go, actually, such and such and such, and, kind of potential, not ruin the joke,
Well,
but just poke fun at it, for example.
well, I didn't know where you were going to go with this, and just my own knowledge. I saw a picture from this show,
Oh, I was getting to
and
it, yes.
oh, okay, because that's I'm like, bro, like, can I talk about this? Like, we don't want to talk about the other performers and what they went through, but we need to talk about everything you went through, and we'll eventually get to the wrestling talk. I didn't even know where we were going with this.
Yes. So the thing I opted to take the worst punishment possible so I could roll with advantage for something else.
Okay,
So what I did was I
maybe I
took
can. I don't play Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm trying to understand, but now I think I got it. All right, go
Okay,
ahead.
yeah, I opted to take something, the worst possible punishment, so that I could have an easier time avoiding another punishment. Let me put it that way. I think that's
That's
a
easy.
very clear way to say it. And just we determined that with rolling the 20-sided dice. So anyway, I opted to
Thank you.
take the worst punishment when it came to, you're welcome, to rolling for strength, which means my strength was challenged during my set. How may you ask? Well, I had
Hey,
five
Patrick Bean.
pounds.
Hey, Patrick Bean, if you were attending a Dungeons and Dragons comedy show and you had to have your strength challenge, how would that be?
That, thank you for
You said if you were to ask, I'm like, oh, I am gonna ask.
I that. God damn it, George. All right.
Come on, 1980s radio, give me a damn break. All right, go ahead.
No,
Sorry.
we're better than that. It doesn't have to be from the decade we were born.
All
Relax.
right, and we're back.
And we're back. Pew pew pew. So I had 5 pounds strapped on each wrist, like wrist weights. I had 5 pound ankle weights on each ankle, and they took painter's tape and they taped an 8 pound dumbbell to the microphone.
Jeez. All right.
So, and I had to perform my 10-minute set with all of this extra weight on me.
And at what level was this? You did well, what did you roll to get this amount?
This was I rolled a one, the lowest possible number you can roll. But
So
I
what would it-
voluntarily took it so I could roll with advantage on other traits.
Yeah, I guess I'm misunderstanding one thing here. Is that, like, if you were to roll a 20, which is the worst, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or is that
What would
best? I don't
happen?
know.
20
Yeah,
is the
so,
best in this case.
so like, I mean, you carrying around like an extra like 200 pounds. Like, what are we doing? Like, that's what I'm trying to figure out here.
No, no, no. If I rolled a 20, the
Uh-huh.
host between me and the next comic would have to wear the ankle weights and the wrist weights, and he would have to, hold the microphone for a few minutes. Is
Okay.
that not what you're asking? Okay.
No, that's not at all what I'm asking. I'm
What are you
asking
asking?
what is the worst punishment you could have had
No, that
for
was the
weight?
worst punishment.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, that's funny, and whatever. I'm talking like, hey, listen, you just rolled a 20, so you have to carry 80 pounds on you. Like,
No, 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 no. Jesus, George, you're not listening. I rolled a one.
I'm a sadistic fucker. That's why. Go ahead.
It shows. I rolled a one. I've seen what you do with swords. I rolled a one.
Hey.
which means it's the worst possible punishment. They
Mm,
don't want to crush me. They don't want to like break me, right?
I would.
So I rolled the one. Well, that's because we're friends, and just again, I've seen what you do with swords. I rolled a
My
one.
personal life. Okay.
No, your stage life. I don't need to know anything. This is not that kind of show, George G. We're not family friendly, but we're also not that friendly. All right. So I rolled a one. The punishment is the additional, in total, 28 pounds added to me between the microphone, my wrists, and ankles.
Which is not easy. I mean, I'm not trying to make it
No, it's
sound easy.
not.
I just thought you were saying like, oh, this is the punishment I'm taking, such and such, whatever. But like, I thought you were telling me it was the lowest amount of weight was this 20 some pounds. I'm like, bro, what are you doing at 20? I thought 20 was bad. Is what I'm getting at.
No, no, 20 is great. 20 is the host has to deal with the punishment, which is
Nice.
how it goes
Okay.
for all the traits. Yes, yes, yes. So I did my 10-minute set with the extra 28 pounds of weight. The crowd was great. It was wonderful crowd. It was hot crowd. Great show. Just loved it. Loved doing the show. The only downside is, especially since I knew I was going into it volunteering for the extra weight on, I should not have worn a hoodie on stage. That's the only thing, because I'm already getting challenged. Now I'm sweating even more. Because while it
Yeah.
wasn't traditional stage lighting on me, we had I think 180 something people in there. Like, it was a big crowd. We packed this place in. So you have all this body heat, plus now I'm in a hoodie. Now I have extra weights on, so I'm getting an isometric workout by holding the microphone in place in front of my face. I was sweating bullets by the time I got out.
I
I ran off stage and refilled my water cup 3 times and slammed it.
I want you to do this one more time in Phoenix in like July, August. And one of the punishments is you got to wear a sweatsuit, like full on, just die on stage.
I can volunteer. I can suggest that to the producers. I think
I
they're going to
never
mix up who the comedians are. They're definitely. I know they want to do that show again. Both the venue and the
what,
producers are like, we need to do this again. So maybe, perhaps, every
but
so
like
often, mix up the punishments and the challenges.
you're having a hot inside of a club March April ish, and like I'm like, what is performing in Phoenix in July August? So
It means it's a higher air conditioning bill for all of the venues.
yes, absolutely.
I
All
will
right,
tell you,
well,
we're getting to the season now where, like, for example, at the time we're recording this, I'm hosting at JP's this weekend, and I know he's going to crank the air conditioning up. Like, we freeze our butts off in the
you
green
would
room,
have
and
to.
then we go out on stage. We're like, oh, thank God, it's a comfortable temperature out here. But that's just part of the game, because he packs his room as filled with people as he can. So it turns into like, okay, we need to crank this air conditioning ahead of time to get ahead of the game. And then
I
we just
gotcha.
freeze, and that's why even in August, specifically when I'm at JP's, I will still wear a jacket into the club because I will freeze otherwise.
Yeah, I have seen those pictures, and it kind of looks weird when you think about, hey, he's in the middle of the desert in August. He's wearing a leather jacket.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But I have to, so
I,
I'm comfortable.
I I only wear it in the club. I carry it in.
You will feel that on June 15th when we're at the
Yes,
Bridge Improv Theater
Patrick and I are doing a joint show. As we've done a few in our home state of New Jersey, I am finally making the trip
in
out.
Pennsylvania.
I know, but I'm talking about me and you that you come here. But
Oh,
yes,
right, right.
sure. Pennsylvania, we've done two. Let's go and name every one of our gigs now, Pat. Come on, Jesus.
Oh, we can have that kind of time. Keep going, George.
Anyway, the first one we are getting to do together in a while, and I'm going to be out in the Phoenix, Arizona area, which is, I think, Mesa is where the show is. Am I getting that
Bridge
right?
Theater is in Mesa. Yes,
Yeah,
Mesa Riverview. They
and
just
we're
moved.
still working on other theaters and stuff that we might be doing. Maybe it'll be a 2-3 show weekend. But as of right now, on Father's Day, you can come see us, and you'll hear the ads as this podcast goes on for that and other gigs. All right, but
What
listen.
better way to celebrate Father's Day than watch two performers who don't have kids?
Anyway, so yeah, so I think right before this, so we get that weird little sales pitch in there in the middle. That was fun. We were talking about sweating on stage, doing what you do,
Yes.
and like doing it for the fans and all that stuff. So when I think of hot, sweaty men, I think of one of our favorite things to watch. That's right, professional wrestling.
That's not what appeals to me about pro wrestling, but okay, George, thank you for
I,
that
listen,
wonderful segue and a peek into your mind.
it's not easy to write segues anymore when you're not a comedian. Anyway,
Maybe you should let me handle them. Go on.
well, it's hard to. I'm like, this episode's gonna be about wrestling, and you're like, let me tell you about a 10-minute story about this gig.
You wanted to know. Anyway, yes.
Well, okay, but you've had a couple shows, and then we went into WrestleMania week. And
Mhm.
I am so excited to talk to you about this because, unbeknownst to you, I think that's the way how you pronounce it, right? Unbeknownst? I think that's it.
Yes, very good.
Anyway,
Ding,
good.
ding, ding.
Yeah. English skills. I think unbeknownst to you is that you knew that your girlfriend, as we mentioned on the show, her name is Grace.
Hmm.
You knew that she was putting together something for your upcoming birthday, and you knew it involved WrestleMania
Yes.
because
Oh, yes.
WrestleMania was a couple days after your birthday. So let's do a big WrestleMania party instead of actually on your birthday.
Right.
Uh, I could not make it as well as a few of our friends that couldn't make it. We'll get into that. But you had to get together at a friend's house and celebrate.
Hmm.
It was night one of WrestleMania is the only night you did it.
Correct. Yes.
As you'd imagine, WrestleMania party, as many people do theme parties. I saw that you and both Grace dressed up. I don't know if anyone else did. Tell me about your party, man. It was your 30th birthday.
Exactly.
Got it.
So I'm not afraid of my age. It was my 37th birthday.
You young man.
Very fun. Yes. So young. Yes, of course. Which was one of the fact check things that we talked about actually to touch back on the Dungeons and Dragons
We're never going
show
to talk
for a
about
minute.
wrestling. Go ahead.
No, I brought up I have a joke about being a
I don't.
millennial and joking about being I made a joke. I'm in my one-third life crisis, and Derek, the host, goes, the average lifespan for a male right now in America is 75. So you're a little past your one-third life crisis there, big guy.
Oh God.
And so I was like, oh, okay. Thank
I
you. That was so anyway, yes. So WrestleMania, the
I don't
party
know.
was fun.
I had to stop myself from laughing because I knew where you were going and I wanted you to get that one out. But I had to stop myself because I'm just like, fuck. I don't have to write another segue, do I?
No, 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 no. I'll handle the segue today. I'll handle the segue and the eloquence of language, sir. Don't you worry. You just keep pulling rabbits out of hats. Now,
So hot, sweaty men. Continue.
yes, so we had a party at a friend's house. It was very wonderful. I thank everyone who made it out and all. Grace did a great job. The decorations, the costumes. I am now the proud owner of a Macho Man Randy Savage costume.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, dig it. And the weather was perfect that I was able to wear the jacket the whole day. It was very nice. Yes,
Yeah.
Grace was the Undertaker. Another
Yes.
couple friends of ours went as Bret Hart and Sting, which was very
That's
fun.
awesome. Okay.
And then some other people dressed. My one friend Ray showed up, and he didn't have like a full costume, but showed me a fun piece of wrestling memorabilia that you would probably like to get, take a peek at, George. He wore a Mankind mask that was actually signed by Mick Foley, so that was very
Okay.
cool.
Cool. Yep.
I'm trying to think. Oh, one of our hosts was dressed as Arn Anderson, so he just wore shorts and boots and
I
just
was
walked
say
around and he drew the muscles on his chest. It was very fun.
that's an interesting
And
choice.
just
Not
taped up his wrists.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. That's an interesting choice because like when you think of like, all right, I'm going to be a character. Arn Anderson is not the first one you like.
To be
Undertaker, Mankind, Randy Savage. And then it's like Arn Anderson,
well,
black trunks, wrist tape. Like,
to be fair, his wife went as Ric Flair, so I think he was going with a Four Horsemen theme.
oh, okay, all right. Well, yes, it
Yeah,
was
yeah,
good.
no, yes,
Damn it! Listen, Arn is an amazing wrestler, so like, so I'm
yeah.
not
Well,
trying to make it like.
I'm gonna tell Arn Anderson. Arn Anderson, if you're listening and you want to tell George what for, you can reach us at a bit delayed at gmail.com.
You're absolutely right. And even though it has been many years since I took a chop, if I was to meet Arn Anderson, I do deserve that one. I would take a chop from Arn Anderson for that
Oh, I want to make that happen so bad. All right,
Listen,
done. That's
I
going
can
up in the
deal
bank.
one I can deal with. If I like, you don't hear me like making fun of like some people that I'd be like, oh no, that chop would kill me. Like,
No, we're gonna do it for your birthday, so you're gonna take 40.
yeah.
So,
So
we
you had
did the
this party,
Yes, it was
big
very
event,
fun.
a big fun event at a friend's house. A lot of people costumes.
Hmm.
And of course, watching WrestleMania Night 1, which I don't know what you did for WrestleMania Night 2, but whatever. The first one is the important one. Grace was putting together this gift for you.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people got involved. I was involved on like some of the processing. We've talked about how like oh, we're gonna get this to you. We're gonna get this to you. Schedules are always nuts, but we did
Mm-hmm.
get enough to you. There was other people that I think were not in the original video. I don't know if you've seen them by now. Um,
Yes, I did see the one person that just didn't fit the vibe of the video, according to Grace.
yeah, I'd agree with that one probably if it's who I think it is, but it's okay.
It is, but yes.
But regardless, but yeah, so what you saw and your friends got to see some of your friends back from the East Coast. Well, I got to watch your video of your reaction,
Yes.
and I will say you were just like, oh, a smile on my face. I was expecting Patrick Bean to be like, oh my God, it's Grande. Oh my God, it's,
Well, so specifically when it comes to Grande, I Grace had me reach out to Grande, member of my former college and touring improv troupe, the second place champions, Steve Grande. And so he kind of did a I don't know if he knew I was dressed as Macho Man, but he did a mock cream of the crop promo, which was very fun, and just
awesome.
with a carton of half and half, which was
Yes.
hysterical.
And his Miss
Um,
Elizabeth.
his Miss Elizabeth was his cat. It was very fun, but I knew he was involved. You know, like I didn't know what exactly was going on. Like I knew you were providing something, and then she made me hunt down, not hunt down, but she had me follow up with Grande. So I knew, so that's when I was like, okay, there's some kind of video going on. So, I put two and two together. This isn't my first rodeo, but
Yeah.
yeah, the surprises that I didn't know was my pal Justin jumped into the video. Ever
Who
the
who
actor did it in his self tape reading room, which was great.
I didn't realize it was him at first when I watched it, but then the one that
I know he
surprised
looks good
me.
now, right?
Well, no, I mean looks good in general. He's a good looking guy, but what
The
I'm getting at is
mustache.
like,
He's got that
yeah, I didn't
mustache.
recognize him for that, but it was. I don't know if she got to it by the end. Is like I did suggest to Grace is that you should have put like little names of who the person was and like how he knew them.
Oh,
Did you
right.
get that or no?
She mentioned that you had suggested it, but I think
It,
just with everything coming
it
together
was it
somewhat
was
last
it
minute.
was so much at the last minute, dude.
Yeah.
She for what she sent me, I was just like, oh my God, if you I mean this is great, and I was like, if there's ever a way to change it, this, and she was like, yeah, I'm gonna try, but it was so tight on time. But bro, she put together some amazing stuff to for
Oh,
these
it was
people.
great. I know. I
Um,
love her so much. I appreciate her. I appreciate you with helping with it while we're on that subject.
Yeah, you
Um,
you know, and as you know me, I always have an issue with doing like live videos and stuff. We don't edit this podcast much, so you've heard some of my mistakes along the episodes. Um, that was, if not a first take for us, that was like we hit record and was like, oh shit, I screwed up the first word, and like hit re-record. So like we didn't even like edit it or anything. And I didn't realize where my wife was gonna go with hers. And she's like, and it's cat. And like she's like all full in wrestling mode. And I'm like, I already was like, I'm George. Like I was like calm, cool,
mhm.
collective. Like, and I even said to her, I was like, yo, we should do it like as a wrestling gimmick. Like I'll be like the manager or whatever. And she was like,
Mhm.
no, let's just wear our wrestling shirts and just go to it. And then she goes all off the rails. And I'm like,
Oh, it
oh
was
God.
perfect. She got a huge laugh, which was like, I'm cat.
Yeah.
Oh, it was
And then
great.
our Yingling in the I have a cooler that's shaped like a WWE belt. So,
Hmm.
so
Fun touch, fun
yeah.
touch. Yeah, you and Kat popped into the video. Tyler helped with the transitions,
Oh, it was so
unbeknownst to
great.
him.
Oh
Our buddy
yes. That
Tyler, from also hailing from Chicago currently, him and Grande, improvisers in Chicago.
yeah,
That was
I
great.
actually it took me a second to realize that that was who it was. At first I thought it was just some like shot from the internet of someone screaming and I was just like, "Oh, that's funny." And then I was like, "Oh, wait, no, I know that guy." Like
Nope, nope, that's my buddy. That's my buddy Tyler.
but I was also
To
going to say
him,
that the third surprise, I want to say, the third person.
Ruben.
Yeah. Bro,
Yeah,
that's what I said to Grace. You should put names. I was watching it for at least 40 seconds and I was like, oh shit, that's Ruben. Like that's a friend of ours. And A, being in character as the Macho Man, and B, as we know he has had some weight loss. Like
Yeah, he had
I
yeah,
I
the surgery.
I did not realize that was Ruben at first.
I know.
Even Kat, I watched it and sent it to her the first time, and she watched it, and I'm like, yeah. She goes, I said, what'd you think of the Macho Man? And she's like, oh, the cream of the crop guy. I was like, no, the one dressed like Macho Man and like all this. Oh, he was good. I said, did you recognize who it was? She goes, no. I'm like, it's Ruben. And she goes, wait, what? She went back and watched
Yes.
it again. So I
Uh-huh.
love those surprises, and I'm glad you got that. Then what was not on the original video, you also
Mhm.
got something else kind of cool. So I'm just gonna shut up because I want to hear your whole experience with this one.
Yes. So Grace also had reached out. Again, it was all wrestling themed.
Of course it
So
was.
she wanted to get a wrestler involved. And when you say you're going to get a wrestler involved, that opens it up to it could be anyone in the wrestling industry in theory, right? Grace is still learning about pro wrestling. She's a newer fan. So I don't know which way she's going to go. I don't know if did she contact a local Arizona promotion and
Sure.
get them to wish me a happy birthday? Did she try and fail to get John Cena, right? Right?
You wouldn't see him on the video.
I knew you were going to do that. I was fighting the urge to make that joke so hard and you just went with it. It was after the party. We get home and Grace like, oh, I'm going to show you this last video because it just didn't fit the vibe. Because everyone was wishing me, it was warm wishes and happy birthday, and people who I consider good friends who I've shared stages with and everything. Go ahead, I could tell you want to say something.
Your girlfriend is phenomenal. Grace is amazing.
Agreed, agreed.
But you didn't see that video in front of your friends?
No, no, no. This was just when we got home because it didn't really match
Oh.
George, it didn't match the vibe. It didn't match the vibe of the room because at this point, when I watched the video, we were getting ready for, I think, the main event at WrestleMania, which was the one part of the party where everyone actually sat down and watched wrestling together.
Okay, that I did not understand. I'm sorry on that one. And listen, like I said,
Yes.
Grace is awesome. Uh I
Also, at that point, there weren't really a lot of wrestling fans at the
that's
party.
that's the
So
only
they
thing I could
wouldn't
see.
appreciate it the way I
Yeah.
do because they respectfully wouldn't know who it is,
Uh
more than likely. Maybe a few of them would,
all right.
but
Well,
that's it.
I asked her to film your reactions, and that's what I was hoping because I figured when she showed me what the other one was, so
Mhm.
you had a I'll give it as this. You had a former television idol of ours from the Attitude Era, we'll say,
Mhm.
former WWF wrestler, former I think he even wrestled in WCW, but
WWE wrestlers. Oh my
but
god.
WCW, WWF, ECW, WWE, former hardcore champion, the trainer of OVW,
Are you his
the
agent? You're giving his
I,
whole resume.
I listen. When I saw it, I was like, "What a fucking perfect person to have for you." But I also know that you and her have watched. Where I was getting at this is that he was also on The Wrestlers on
Yes, the
Netflix.
documentary on Netflix. Yes.
So you got a cameo from the
Hmm.
amazing, the snowman himself, Al Snow.
Yes, it was very
God,
entertaining.
I mean, listen, if you want me to keep going, I can go,
No, you're good.
the man Avatar, the man Shinobi, the man Leaf Cassidy,
I
Al
don't think Al
Snow.
Snow wants you to say any of those.
You got roasted by Al Snow.
A little bit, yes. Yes.
I think it was a little more than a little bit, bro. I was laughing my ass off. We're gonna eventually have to figure out how to attach this to the video if we're allowed to, and like
Uh-huh.
show or even just put it on your social media just because people can follow you. Um, bro, she went amazing. Like, what did you feel when you saw Al Snow?
I was very touched, of course, because I knew this was a gift from Grace.
Yeah,
And I just thought it was very cool. Somebody who, like you said, I watched when I was growing up, a very talented wrestler, and then just reemerged in the spotlight through that documentary on Netflix. Like, between watching that documentary and then looking back, like, he was so underutilized for the amount of talent he had.
yeah,
Just he's a very gifted speaker. He's very funny. So I don't know, like when I think of Al Snow, I think of again, we're going deep into the wrestling now. But there was a time where like him and McFoley were always like paired up and like backstage segments, and Al was always the butt of the jokes.
sure,
And it's like, no, give Al punchlines. Al is also very funny.
yeah. I
So
remember. I remember, like, just for an example, I remember like backstage segments, and Mick Foley was always like with Edge making fun of Al Snow. Like,
Right.
Edge, yeah.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes. And so Al Snow is very funny in and of himself. So this was his time where it was, it's a cameo. It's him recording it into his phone,
sure.
taking like a selfie video and just saying, "Hey Patrick, happy birthday. Grace wanted me, reached out, told me it was your birthday and here." And then yes, he roasts me, makes fun of my hairy back, says I should take the back hair and flip it up as a comb over to cover my bald head, which is the funniest line.
My favorite
One of the
line of the whole
funniest lines.
thing.
It
My
was
favorite
very
line.
funny. And yeah, it was a very nice, and also I was touched, and this isn't so much like oh, Al thinks highly of me. This is an Al thinks highly of his fans, because I've seen people post their cameos where it's quick, like 30 seconds, like, "Hey, I'm so and so from the so and so show.
Yeah.
Happy birthday. Thanks for being a fan. Have a good day." And like it's less than 30 seconds, right?
Yeah.
He sat there and recorded a 3 minute, like you could tell he got the information from Grace. He probably
He-
has a Rolodex of jokes and references in his head because he's been an entertainer for so long. So
He's Al Snow.
he just whips out like 3 minutes of just quick jokes, street jokes. Couple of them are roasts on me. Couple of them are just quick jokes about like going to a strip club. This is one of the jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was just fun to have this thing, and it just shows how appreciative he is of his fans, that he will take the time and do a good video like this all in one take. I don't know if it was a couple shots or whatnot, but all in one smooth take, cracking the jokes, making it fun. Yeah, it was very nice. I appreciate him appreciating his fans. You could tell
Yeah.
he's a genuine human being.
Yeah, that was very fun about that. I did remember watching it and just going like that's great. I will say this is, since you said that Grace is just learning like who wrestlers are and stuff,
Hmm.
wouldn't it be great if like she reached out to Cameo or whatever you do, to get Al Snow, right? And Al's
You
like,
reach out to
"Hey,
the individual through Cameo. Yes.
sorry, I've never used Cameo, but you get the idea."
That's why I'm explaining it.
So wouldn't it be great if like Al was like, "All right, it's XYZ to hire me to do, under a 3 minute video or whatever."
Sure.
Um, but then he's like, "For $25 extra, I will also include the head." And she's just like, "Nah, he doesn't need that. What's he care about a head?" Like, and you're just like, "Ah!" For those people that don't understand what we're saying, is Al Snow for many, many years in his career carried around a mannequin's head, and it was like his special friend that he talked to, and only they interacted with him. And it became a funny butt joke of just basically he was like a psychopath. But
Yes,
like, wouldn't it
his
be great?
gimmick was that he was just a crazy person talking to a mannequin head. And the
Yeah,
mannequin head and him both had "help me" written backwards on the forehead.
yes, as if it was done in a mirror. Exactly.
Hmm.
The reason why I was saying about Cameo is because I do know of wrestlers. I won't name names, but like, "Hey, I'm this wrestler, but like you can have it as me just being like, 'Hi, I'm so and so, former wrestler.' Or for
Right.
an extra $100, I'll throw on the face makeup and I'll do it in character." And it's like, it's
Right.
it's so cool, the one you got. I like,
Yes.
without her even knowing much about wrestling. I know you guys watch the Netflix thing, but like,
Yeah, she knows about
I
Al Snow.
I love that that's who she chose. What a great find.
It makes sense because, again, the documentary was her introduction to wrestling. We watched, I think, a little bit of WrestleMania from
Yeah.
last year, the one you were at, and then
Oh yeah.
we watched the documentary series. And
Uh,
so we got, I think, halfway through it, and she was like, "I'm not too old to start learning how to wrestle, right? Like I could jump into this, right?" And like
oh.
that was the level of fandom she hit.
I thought
Yeah.
you were gonna say like she was like, "Oh, I'm not too old to start watching this and like understand the history," because that's how it is for my wife. My wife got into watching. She used to watch it a little bit, but like when I came into her life and I started telling her about things, she's like, "Wait, this is the history of this," and like she just found it so interesting to like go back and watch this stuff. And me, like as a kid of the 80s and 90s, I remember what I would still consider, and I think many would, is the greatest era of pro wrestling that's easy to go back and do because of all the footage.
Mhm.
You might say that, early NWA or early AWA is the best thing ever, but if they weren't filming as much as they are for, the Attitude Era in the 90s and 2000s, I mean, it's amazing we're finding out all this stuff now. Is even with the Hall of Fame this year, like it's it's the people we watched growing up getting put in. Like
Mhm. Right.
I remember in the '90s being like, oh, who's Bobo Brazil, and like having to do the research as to who that was when he got inducted because he was a wrestler in the '60s, and it's just like, oh damn,
Yeah.
maybe '70s. Like I might have got that wrong, but regardless, yeah. I remember just a lot about like wrestling in our childhood of, appreciating it more as a fan. And now, of course, it has hit the stardom of worldwide and everyone's like, oh, I was a wrestling fan. I'm like, no, you weren't. We were all the
Mhm.
nerds like going like, I wonder what the corporation's gonna do next.
Right. Right.
Can
Following
you
it week in and week out. It was just our soap opera, is all
can
it
you believe
was.
the Undertaker crucified Stephanie McMahon?
Right. Yeah. Insane stuff to think of that this was like, yep, this is what we're going to do.
So I was talking to my wife one night and we were talking about this was Attitude Era or just pre-Attitude Era. And I said, oh, do you know what Choppy Choppy Your Pee-Pee is? And it's, the segment with Kai and Ty and Val Venus. And she's like, no. And I was like, oh, it's when they had a Lorena Bobbitt gimmick on wrestling. And she's like, what? And like we went down. I'm like, do you know how much there's so much good stuff hidden in wrestling? And like when I say something once,
Was
and
that good?
no, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. Is there's so much good stuff that she doesn't know that when I hit something that like she doesn't know either, and then I'm like, we don't have to talk about that. And then she's like, no, I want to know, and she'll just go down some weird rabbit hole of like, oh my god, and then that got her into talking about how they would do the voiceovers for Kai and Tai, the racist
Hmm.
Asian
Oh, yeah.
voiceovers.
The like bad, like a kung fu movie, they would dub them over. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, like she got all into like, wow, wrestling was pretty horrible. And I'm like, yeah, but that's the kind of stuff I remember. Like,
Dude, I rem the Unhinged, they did like, yeah, the wrestler, they did the gimmick where his penis was cut off. This is like
mhm.
1998, 1999. And they had, of all people, they had, I think, a lawyer come out and speak on behalf of the guy whose penis was cut off. They quickly in the storyline said, "Oh, we're sewing it back on,"
Yes.
and they actually brought John Bobbitt out,
Yes.
and he spoke on behalf of the man, the
Yes.
wrestler whose penis had been cut off in this storyline.
Y-
And it was like, as a child, again, really didn't understand the
mhm.
reference, but I look
Sure.
back on it and I go, "Who the hell thought this was a good idea?"
Now,
Like,
Patrick, you are missing some vital things for the non-wrestling fans that are hearing us.
okay.
Let me fill in some of the gaps. The man who got his penis cut off with a
Mhm.
samurai sword, by the way, because it's
Yes.
choppy choppy your pee pee with a samurai sword. There
Right.
was an
The most
Asian gang.
racist character.
Well, no, we're not even there yet. The racist character
No,
is
we're there. No, we're there.
the man is an Asian businessman who's essentially in charge of like the Yakuza in WWE.
Right.
And while this is happening, this man cheats on, or I'm sorry, this man's wife cheats on him with a wrestler. The
Yeah.
wrestler whose gimmick is I'm a porn star.
Yes.
You're forgetting about all that for the non-wrestling fans.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Usually I think you're including too many details. No, you're correct on this one.
Hello, ladies.
Yes, there was a wrestler who was a porn star, because why not?
Whose last name also rhymed with penis, but let's not forget that.
Yes, Val Venus. He wrestled, and yes, he would run around, and in his storylines he would sleep with different wrestlers' wives, sisters, whoever. And on this one occasion, yes, he was beaten up, and it culminated in them pretending to cut his penis off with a samurai sword. My
Well,
God, I watched this when I was 9 years old.
allegedly they cut it off.
No, I was legitimately 9 years old, and yes, they in
Uh,
storyline, allegedly cut his penis
you
off.
know,
And I genuinely watched it as a 9 year old.
why is it that, again, we're going deep in wrestling, but why is it that we as wrestling fans didn't call 911 when that happened, but yet people called 911 when the NWO showed up and launched Rey Mysterio into the truck trailer outside of MGM Studios? Like, people forget that, like, some people thought, like, all right, again, not using that F word that means things aren't real. Um, People legitimately thought it was 100% like gang warfare. These people are trying to take over WCW and like launch their agenda on television. So they legitimately called, I think it was the Orlando or Miami, wherever they were, police department. Like,
Mhm.
we watched a man's penis get cut off and we were just like, oh, okay, next segment.
I'm going to withhold my knee jerk comment so as I do not get death threats. I will just say, in a broader sense, some wrestling fans, some, not all, I'm not even going to say a majority of them. I'm just going to say some wrestling fans, like really all swaths of people. But you know what? I'm going to say it this way. Some people are just dumber than other people. And that's why. My favorite George Carlin quote: think of how dumb the average person is, and then realize half the population is dumber than that. That
True.
is your answer, George. That is
Yeah.
why some people watched professional wrestling in the late 90s, saw somebody get beaten up in a parking lot, and then legitimately called that city's police department and said, "Hey, there's violence going on at the arena." Which
Now
I want to hear that 911 call
I
and hear
do.
the operator laughing. I
Well,
love those calls when you hear the 911 operator and they just get people who are dumb as a box of rocks or are just so out of their depth with everyday reality and the operator can't help but laugh at them. That's how you know you're stupid. Is
uh,
when a person whose job is to be there for you, at least in like a supportive way. Obviously, they can't
yeah.
physically be there because they have to answer the phone. But when they are there to be there for you emotionally and walk you through it until a police officer, a firefighter, paramedic arrives to then take over, they have to be essentially your emotional support phone call.
Yeah.
And they openly mock you because you're that stupid. That is the pinnacle of human stupidity. And
Yeah.
those videos never get old to me. Feel free to send those, your favorites, to a bit delayed at gmail.com.
I love it. Um, well, on that same thing is you're talking about that that the stupid people. I got it. Is
Hmm.
but we are also talking about the fact that now as this global thing. I mean, I remember in like 97 like hearing, "Oh my God, WWE at the time F WWF is being shown in 60 countries, and now I think
Hmm.
like it's shown in almost every country in the world. It's like that's insane. And like the
Yeah.
fact that we are talking about, I've mentioned this before to many friends. I don't know if I mentioned it here, but like we are talking about an art form that started off in the carnival sideshow circuit.
Hmm.
Like this was with the bearded lady and the strong man and the sword swallowers. It was let's watch wrestling. And there were people, and there still are people who think 100% everything is legitimate. And there are people who think that, it is an art form and it's a storyline. And I mean, now you got, I heard this last year or whatever, and it was, Paul Levesque, Triple H, whatever you call him, the creative designer with WWE now, creative consult, whatever his name is, creative
Hmm.
license. I don't know what his title is.
Chief Content Officer, I believe.
There you go. Thank you. Thank you. We'll look that up and be sure because I might be
It's just
wrong.
fun watching you
Uh,
struggle. Go on.
but I heard him saying like, you have no idea where we're going with this. And like, what we're about to do is push the envelope even farther. And like you see that nowadays on the global scale of, they're linked with UFC with TKO. You got stars like we watched WrestleMania, so besides the musical acts that they're bringing in that are already known and established acts, you also have that Travis Scott, a rapper, was involved in the end of the main event of the Red Night 2
The
WrestleMania.
dumbest thing ever. Go on.
Yeah, listen, we can critique wrestling as an art just like every can critique everything else. All art is subjective. We're not a wrestling podcast, but if anybody wants to
He
hire,
says 48 minutes into talking about wrestling
no, I meant
on a podcast.
I meant that like there are podcasts dedicated to this, and both Patrick and I would love to come on and talk about those on a more fan base. This is our podcast for what we do. We just, of course, I'm going to talk about entertainment as in an entertainment we care about when it's a big time. But then like you have like the social media star of Logan Paul before he was a wrestler. That man's a person who actually legitimately put work in. You cannot be a fan of his character and who he is as a person, but like that man legitimately learned how to wrestle and has some really cool moments. The shots of him using the drone this year at WrestleMania, what a cool concept. Like as a quote heel, I want to hate this guy. I mean, to coming out to a song that says I'm humble. I mean, like that's amazing. Like I laugh at where wrestling is because I still think of it as 100 people in a gymnasium.
Mm.
Like when I go to some of the bigger shows, I'm just like I was at WrestleMania last year for WrestleMania 40, and I'm like, oh my god, there's 70 some thousand people here. Like this is insane, and that's just the people who are here. Who's watching it around the
Right.
world? Like I don't
Yeah, I
know.
just this is a whole other topic for another time. I just there's certain things when you bring in a Logan Paul and a Travis Scott where I'm like, they're not good people, and I get that they're playing bad guys on TV too, but when they're also not good people in real life, I kind of don't like I tune out. I don't care anymore. Like that illusion does not hold for me where I can go, okay, but I can watch the character. Like I don't like either of them. They can fall off a cliff for all I care. And
Yeah,
like seriously.
but isn't that also what promoters have wanted for years in wrestling and in storylines like UFC and everything? I mean, like, listen, UFC, if we're going to say everything is 100% legitimate sport, which I'm pretty sure it is, but like you're still a character. You still got to show off at the weigh-in. You still got to have that social media presence to realize if I'm going to like you or hate you.
Yes.
There's people who I've watched in UFC that I go, man, I don't like them as a person. I would love to watch them get knocked out. And I think we're seeing that now as the storyline of wrestling is changing the world because so much of wrestling is now watched worldwide. We're watching political rallies where people are using wrestling chants. I mean, like that's in my
Right.
mind insane.
I no, I get that, but again, I am just not one for rewarding douchebaggery, if I could create a word. So when you when you attach yourself to someone, any kind of public figure who is, oh, I don't know, responsible, or, well, I won't say responsible, but doesn't seem to really be affected that people got crushed at his concert, perhaps, cough, cough, Travis Scott, cough, cough. I like it just turns me off to the idea that he's now involved.
I
When you have
gotcha.
Logan Paul say some things that at least I personally disagree with, I'm not. I don't feel like that. I get it. Everyone has their own opinion. I'm not saying you shouldn't. I just these
Yeah.
are factors that turn me off as a consumer. Where okay, Logan Paul wrestled at WrestleMania. Cool. I needed a bathroom break, right? And that sucks because he wrestled somebody who's very talented in
Yeah.
AJ Styles. But I do not give two shits about Logan Paul. I do not
Okay.
give two shits about his brother. So that's great that the promoters and listen, I'm only one person. WrestleMania will live on just fine if I were to never watch or buy a ticket again. I
Sure.
understand
And
that.
and
I'm not
Logan
thinking my opinion speaks for the world.
and Logan Paul does a lot better, or Logan Paul will be fine without you buying one extra bottle of Prime. I get it.
I will never buy Prime because that's another controversy where his the allegedly the nutritional ingredients were a lie, which is
Oh,
a
I didn't
whole
know
other
that.
conversation.
Oh my God. All right. Wow.
Yes. So
We don't
do
we
you
don't need to
understand why I'm like that's why I
well
said
wait.
allegedly, number one.
We
Number
we don't
two,
need to allegedly get sued either. So
we don't have to allegedly or genuinely get sued. But but that's just my point when it comes to entertainment is I am over rewarding douchebaggery. And it's a problem with
Okay.
society in general. I just, in this instance of pro wrestling, there are certain figures involved where I go, did they, I don't know that they're really a positive influence on your brand. Like, again, Pat
I,
McAfee's kind of in hot water for spreading a rumor on his show. So he's another one that it's like, what are we doing?
yeah, but then we're just using WWE for an example because of their global scale at this point. But
Yes.
like, you know, wouldn't you wouldn't you also say that the typical fan
Mm-hmm.
also would forgive them because while they're doing and putting the people who I don't want on, they're also putting the people I do want on. So like there's something for everybody. So for example, if we're talking music, all right, if you don't like Travis Scott, but you do like Jelly Roll who sang God Bless America, like
Mm-hmm.
those are both, artists in the music community. We'll just say it that way because I don't want to get into specifics of what their genres are. But like I I in my mind go there is ways how everyone could enjoy this, which is unfortunately in my mind why now WrestleMania has to be 2 nights. There's so much. There was 18 hours of show and that's not even counting like all the wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
My wife said it online about like you know, why is it that I'm watching WrestleMania for, an hour and we have only now just gotten to people walking into the ring? Like
Right.
it does feel like that sometimes with the early promo packages and everything else, but they also have to pay for it some way. The putting the logos
Yeah.
in the ring now, that's a good thing from a promoting aspect.
Yeah, that's fine.
UFC and boxing have been doing it all along.
Right. That's zero. That's not at all my complaint, right? There's a pageantry to it. Like you're saying,
Sure.
they're putting on a show. You're selling out a football stadium. WrestleMania. That's what one of the people, one of my friends at the party, he happened to walk by and watch the TV for a second. He goes, I knew wrestling was popular. I didn't realize it was fill football stadiums popular.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah.
their big thing. This is what they do for the bigger events. They go to football stadiums, they go to soccer stadiums, they go to the largest arenas in the world to put on these events.
Yeah.
My whole point is just I understand you cannot make everyone happy all of the time
Sure.
by far. But when you can pick and choose what public figures come in and get involved, when
Yeah.
some of them maybe have a little bit of the bad vibe on them, a little bit of the negative story behind their persona, maybe don't include them. That's all. But again,
Yeah.
I'm only one person. I maybe can't. I'm just a little too empathetic to the world, maybe sometimes. Maybe I'm a little bit too much of a Captain America type where I wouldn't personally associate with people who are douchebags. But that's just me. I'm not in charge of a global company.
Correct. And I mean, I think, that's the same thing as with anything that you're going to consume as a fan or just a person who purchases something. We're seeing it now in the world about people who are like, "Oh, I shouldn't wear this because it's made in X country that doesn't have child labor laws," or I shouldn't I
Hmm.
shouldn't use this technology because it has this. And it all depends on what you want in your life. And me, yes, I will take a bathroom break when it's someone I don't care about. I will. I was, so yeah, I understand their need for having certain people in uh performance now. Is I like where wrestling has been going and has gone. Um, yeah, I get it. I get where you're at. I guess I got to take the bad with the good because I really do appreciate that this art form that I've been watching my entire life, have participated in, is as big as it is. Even on the smaller scales, you watch AEW, you watch Ring of Honor, you watch GCW, MLW, all these ones that have just even
Hmm.
internet television programs.
Right.
Like they're doing their best numbers they've pretty much ever done because everyone wants to watch wrestling. It's now for me too much that I have to watch only a certain amount. I can't consume it. I would never have a career doing what I do. Is I can only watch it a little bit.
Right. And I will say that's the good thing is because you have this, okay, you have this big global scale. You have a WrestleMania that is seen worldwide. People fly from all over the world to see it in person. It's great. It's wonderful. But I will say the what it shines a light on is okay, you can't look at sorry, let me start over. Grace initially had looked at WrestleMania tickets and it was just
Oh,
crazy expensive,
yeah.
right? Because it WrestleMania always coincides with our birthdays, right? It's always roughly around that same weekend or right around you the birthday you and I almost
Yeah.
share a day apart. So Grace had looked at tickets because it's only a 5.5 hour drive to get to Vegas from where we live. So it's like, oh, let's go, take a long weekend. We'll go up, we'll see both nights. And the tickets were crazy and just wasn't
Yeah.
feasible for her to buy two tickets for us for the whole weekend or even one night, really, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So, okay, we can't see WrestleMania, and a lot of people couldn't see WrestleMania in person at least. But that does shine a light on, okay, hey, the next time the local promotion is running a show, whatever I don't remember the name of the promotion. I think it's like Arizona Federation Wrestling, right? AFW we'll
Sure.
call it. That might be
Sure.
made up, but I know there's something along those lines. The next time an AFW show happens, we'll go get tickets to that and we can see a young, hungry, hopefully not douchebaggery involved human who is starting out their pro wrestling career. And you can support a local wrestler and support a local artist and somebody who's starting off their dream, pursuing their dream,
By the
and you
way,
get to see
some
more local talent.
by the way, as a person who worked on the indies, I love the fact that you think that some people don't have an attitude, only their second year in.
Oh no no no, buddy! I do stand
I'm
up
hot
comedy.
shit. I'm hot shit. Oh yeah, true.
I do stand up. I all right. Let me tell you a story, and then we can
And
maybe
here's
wrap
how
this episode.
Patrick goes off on the world of comedy. Go ahead.
I no no no. Listen,
These motherfuckers.
every art form has its people who get a big ego way too
Okay,
early, right?
can we
Every
get
art, magic has it, wrestling has it, acting has it, etc.
I I was gonna say I want to get like four magicians on right now. We all get drunk and just tell our shit stories. Go ahead.
Oh my God. Yes, that would be great. Hey, remember when this episode started happy and it was like, tell me about your birthday, Pat? And now I'm talking about everything wrong with the world and commercialism.
Fuck
Anyway,
every I was
this
going with fuck every
this episode got.
comedian, and you just went into like how the world sucks because we want to spend money. Got it.
Well, I was talking about Logan Paul and Travis Scott, and that's controversies for a whole other time.
Next, so hey, wait. I'm gonna say this: if you want to see something hilarious, come to our show on Father's Day in Mesa, Arizona, and right before Patrick Bean goes on stage, I'm gonna be like, "Hey, by the way, Logan Paul makes more money than you," and just watch him go out angry.
Oh, I'm aware he makes more money than me. No, 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 no. Here's what I say to that. Logan Paul can make all the money in the world. I don't know about his character. I know I can look myself in the eyes in the mirror every day. I don't know that he can say the same, and I'll leave it at that.
Allegedly.
So, allegedly, listen, maybe he does. Maybe he's happy with it. Listen, to be fair, I'm not aware of all his work. I've just seen certain tweets, whatever they're called these days, and I go, that's he's not my kind of person. But that's
Go,
all
go,
it is. But
I'm about to just say, let's just keep recording, and we'll make like 7 episodes out of this.
no, because I don't need to burn every bridge in the world. I'm just picky and choosy with who I work with. That's all.
We'll put it on our
So
We'll put it on our Patreon as extra features. Watch Patrick go off on the local comedy scene.
perfect. Yes. Now, step one: start Patreon. I was doing a show and was doing a whole weekend run at a venue. And I remember we were doing two shows on this particular night. First show happens, me and a couple of my friends, we were just chatting. One of them had a new joke they were working on, so we were just kind of workshopping it in the green room, hanging out, and, just having a good time. And then he tries the bit on stage at that show, at the first show, and it goes great. We're all happy. We're all riding that high because we all helped contribute to our friend's bit. We're all happy with it. It's great. And the green room was just light and fun. Second show, another comic was jumping in for the second show. It's a later show, so the show can run a little longer. You can add one or two comics. This particular comic came in, just sat in the green room on the couch, and was just on his phone the whole time. No,
Oh,
like, said hi to us, but then just completely changed the energy and the vibe in the green room. So now, me and my friends who had been laughing and joking before the first show, now we're at the second show and we're going like, oh, this is weird. Like it just felt awkward, you know? And this person, like, by the way, none of us are like these big household names, including this person who just walked in. We're all, nobody's getting a Netflix deal tomorrow. So we go through and, we kind of make conversation in the green room and we're waiting for this guy to, okay, maybe he's typing a really important email or something and then he's going to join the group. No, kind of stays to himself. He'll occasionally chime in, throw in a story that's all about him and how cool he is. We're like, oh, okay. And
Wow.
just really changes the vibe of the room. Then he goes up, does his set. He had a large group of people come into the club. So that definitely helped. And, it seemed like he was definitely more playing to just his people that were in the room and not the whole general audience that was there.
Yeah.
He came back into the green room. The producer of the show came back to like sit in the green room with us as well, and the show was running pretty smoothly at that point. And this guy, who had just jumped on to the second show, goes, "Hey man, when am I gonna headline?" And meanwhile, this guy, I don't even
No.
think he'd been doing it 2 years yet. And the producer was like, wait, what? Like thinking he was being sarcastic or like in on the joke of like, oh yeah, I'm ready to headline. So the guy goes, "No, you're not there yet. Like you did good out there, but you're not there yet." And he's like, "No, come on, man, you heard those people." And the producer was like, "Yeah, you're like the people you brought to the show loved you.
Yeah.
The other half of the crowd, real
Yeah.
like they felt neglected. Like there's nothing, you know what I mean? Like okay, yeah, you brought people, but like you weren't that funny to
I,
everyone."
I'll let you in on this. Especially like so what you're talking about would also be like similar in the world of comedy or open mics about like a bringer show, right? Is, for people that aren't familiar with that, it's you get a little bit more time by the more people you bring to the show because they're paying, quote, an entrance fee or the bar's making money. So the venue is happy to let you have an extra 2 minutes for doing something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it happens a lot in the world of professional wrestling. Is I know a lot of local wrestlers that, will put up on their social media, hey, hit me up for tickets, because
Mm-hmm.
they know that, hey, if I can sell, 30, 40 extra seats, maybe my match, who's clearly not the main event because we're bringing in XYZ star from, some company, maybe I'll get put as the second, the match right before the main event, or maybe I'll get
Mm-hmm.
the match right before intermission. So everyone wants to get my merch, like
Sure.
I know people that legitimately do that. And I love the fact that in all entertainment, just like wrestling, just like comedy you're talking about, it happens in magic, is those people who don't realize uh, what level they're at, and like all the people with experience can see it and go, okay, yeah, hey, you'd be good at this spot, you'd be good at this spot. But like the people that think I'm a headliner already, it happens in every form of entertainment. I love that that's where we're at. The
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, one other thing is that, staying with wrestling for a second, is there's a great story, you have to look it up. Andre the Giant, or I'm sorry, Hogan would talk about Andre the Giant, how uh when Hogan would have like a girl that he was like kind of showing off to in the crowd, Andre would get pissed off because he's like, he could tell that Hogan was trying to shine and like,
Mm-hmm.
flex for the girl or whatever,
Sure.
and Andre was like, no more girls at ringside. Like, just like, because you do have those moments when you think you're the
Mm-hmm.
star of the show. I'm gonna give you one to close, unless there's anything I'm missing. But one of my favorite moments, and just something you said, is thinking you're ready to headline. Is I got to be witness for you. This will be a fun little ending on a birthday gift for Patrick Bean.
Aw, bring it
One of
back
my
to a happy note.
Oh yeah, one of my favorite stories about you, I got to experience at a show we did that was in Belmar, New Jersey, and watching you realize that, hey, I've been doing so much of host or feature work. When you went a little long, you're like, oh my God, I actually do have enough material to headline. And I was like, yeah, bro, you do. Like, it's when it's our show and you can show off a little bit, it's like, oh shit, I got 45 in me. Like,
Right. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. That was
it was a
just
fun
a
experience to watch it happen.
it was a very happy error because I was like, oh, I'll do like 35, that's fine. And then just something, I was using my Apple Watch. I think I was using the voice memo feature, and either it taps out at 38 minutes for
Yeah.
recording, or I had gotten two random phone calls while I was on, of all times, two random numbers that I'd
Oh,
never
I
gotten
didn't
called
know.
before, spam calls. And so I had to silence them on my watch. So that kind of threw me off,
Oh,
which also I was a little thrown off because like the whole parking debacle before the show. So I didn't really have a
yeah.
lot of time to like sit and just gather my thoughts before I went on stage.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So this kind of like flustered me, but somewhere in I guess silencing that notification, I think I shut my stop the voice memo app
It
off,
hap
which was doubling as my stopwatch.
it happens, yeah.
And so I looked at my watch at one point and I go, "Oh, I don't know. I know I've been up here at least like 25 minutes. All right, well,
So,
I think this is only like 10 more minutes of material." And then it's like 20 more minutes of
a-
material.
and for anyone that's listening that doesn't, wonder about this is, sometimes you are going on a rant, it happens. And if you're not playing a venue like a cruise ship or a casino where it's like you got to do a tight 30 and that's it, usually those venues will have some kind of clock or something you can look at so you have an idea. To watch you like so okay, I'll go behind the curtain here for a second to finish up. As a magician, there are certain things that I need to get ready like right before walking on stage. I'll just say it that way. And so whenever I work with another performer, and in this case Patrick Bean, I would say things like, "What's the last bit you're going into?" So I know what your closer is. That way
Mm-hmm.
I know, okay, this bit takes 3 minutes. I have 3 minutes before they're going to introduce me, just so I'm not rushing. I got to take that extra minute to stretch. I got to, make sure, double check my pockets, like that kind of thing. I remember like asking you, what are you going to close on? And also having a stopwatch going myself. And I'm like, all right, it's 28 minutes. He should be ending in like under 7 minutes. And then it was like 35 minutes. And I'm like, all right. And then like, I forget, someone else was standing backstage or something. If it was our MC or whatever. And he's like, how long's he doing? I'm like, I thought he was supposed to be done by now. Like, and then so like I'm just like I can't keep being nervous. I'm just like I'm standing here. I didn't have a chair where I was standing. I just kind of like all right, and I was like, well, let's let it go because it's our damn show. Sometimes you can let that happen. And then at the end, going, yo, bro, you got enough material to headline. You're like, how long I do? And I'm like, oh, I think you're like 46 minutes. And you're like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
I believe the tape says 48 minutes.
okay, 48.
So yeah,
Well,
just
bro,
to get
we
technical.
we went a little off the rails again as we do on the A Bit Delayed podcast. We do have to shut it down. What do you got coming up for anybody that you want to mention? We did say our show, but how about you?
We have our show. Let's promote that. June 15th, the Bridge Improv Theater, their new home at Mesa Riverview. June 15th, Father's Day.
Arizona, Mesa,
Mesa,
Arizona.
Arizona. Yes, Mesa, Arizona. Sure. Yes, thank you. Mesa, Arizona, the Bridge Improv Theater, an evening of comedy and magic. Myself, Patrick Bean, and George G doing our stand up, doing our magic. Well, your magic, doing some improv comedy. It is an improv theater after all. That is
We
going to be
we
our third act.
we have debated doing improv as the third act, but because
Yes,
we
and I
don't
won.
have,
Yes, and so we're doing improv.
maybe, and we are going to do what we do, and then if there's a little extra thrown in, it's a little extra fun for our Arizona friends. How about that?
Yes, the extra fun improv that I already told the venue we were doing, so we have to do it.
Son of a bitch.
It's part of the show
They're
pitch.
supply they're supplying like eight other improv people to help me, right?
Yes, it's going to be tag team improv to stick with the wrestling theme. You're just going
This
to
is
tag in. You can tag in Grace.
yeah. Hey,
You
listen,
can
I
tag
promise.
in my friends. I have a couple friends named Josh. You can tag in one of the Joshes.
I think we should like at
Tag in
least say
Ryan and Jess.
I think we should at least say, hey, listen, even though he could do all this magic, sometimes you're not as good. Like I can't make this shit be good.
We are going to be at the Bridge Improv Theater, Mesa Riverview, Sunday, June 15th. Come celebrate Father's Day with two guys who are not dads.
We're going to have fun doing some great magic, some great comedy, and
Yes.
we'll do improv.
Listen, we're at an improv theater. Don't say it like it's an afterthought.
Bro, I performed at burlesque and strip clubs. I didn't take clothes off once.
That's, fair point, sir. Fair point. But you can see everything else I'm doing. Go to patrickbeancomedy.com. Check out all my shows. Find the ticket links there. You can also follow me on all the social media profiles: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, at Patrick Bean Comedy. George, where can the people find you?
Easiest way is just on all social media. It's George G Magic. So George common spelling, last name Gee, and then the word magic on almost all social media. And I guess since we're talking about future things, we can also say that upcoming this year is another fall tour with the Masters of Illusion team, where I am
Woo!
first assistant stage manager as well as magic tech. So I make some of the magic backstage happen. Come check us out. You can find that at mastersofillusionlive.com.
Yes, and you can get in touch with both of us at abitdelayed@gmail.com. George, anything else for the people?
No, that was fun. I promise that next week's episode will have nothing at all to do with professional wrestling. So if you stayed with us this long, you've dealt with all the garbage we've talked about. Hopefully you've gotten something from it. I promise next week we're going to talk about something that doesn't involve wrestling or cutting off penises.
For George G, I'm Patrick Bean. This has been A Bit Delayed. Thank you, and we will see you next time. Okay, bye. Thank you for listening. Theme song by Tash Nilsson. Check out all his great music on Spotify.